child had attempted to jump out of the window to mimic the character. I'm sorry, what?
When I was a wee lad, the ripe age of 10, I had my first experience with PoppyPlaytime, and I was in love with it. My little 5th grade brain loved it. I was all about that Huggy Wuggy dude. Freddy Fazbear who? I was watching lore video after lore video, really getting in touch with my true inner Matt Pat. But I was never able to play the game myself. So then, the second chapter was announced, and controversy with PoppyPlaytime was on the rise with some shady business stuff we'll get back to. But when I first saw my favorite YouTubers talking about this controversy, I thought, how absolute dare they talk about my favorite game that I have never played before like that. Then, the second game came out, and I still couldn't play it. But I watched someone else play it. And I loved it more than the first. Then the third chapter was announced, but then nothing. So I decided to look at all the controversy PoppyPlaytime was seeing. Like, it couldn't be that bad, right? It's bad. Now, you know I like PoppyPlaytime. I just talked to you about it, and my channel is dedicated to it. Mostly. But there's a problem with PoppyPlaytime. They have a lot of controversy. So today, I'm going to be exploring the controversy of PoppyPlaytime, addressing the problems, and attempting to figure out whether or not this will affect mob games in the long run, and whether this influences my liking on the games and franchise as a whole. I put this video off for a little bit, but it's time we talk about the controversy. And so today, we are reevaluating PoppyPlaytime as a whole to see if it is a ride or die. The games are decent, with the exception of the third game, that is just the holy grail in the form of 400 megabytes. But the first game, not gonna lie, is kinda super boring when I replayed it. And the second is not really scary at all. But because of the kitty looking designs on the monsters, the whole game blew up. And yes, I was one that loved the designs too. But I've talked about the mainline games before. For this section, I want to focus on the spin-off titles for PoppyPlaytime, such as Project Playtime and PoppyPlaytime Forever. Now, Project Playtime started off so strong and had a lot of hype, and then it released. And it was a little buggy, but it was fun, even when you died. But now, the last update being almost a year ago, and it changed everything for the worst. No more battle pass with skins, just currency, which is so boring. Also, they make skins cost too much V-Bucks, I mean play tickets. They made dying boring just like every other game, and they removed private lobbies and the tutorial. The last update in general was stupid, and now no one plays the game anymore. I think the main problem was that they just never really updated the game. And the same can be said for their Roblox title, PoppyPlaytime Forever. Yes, PoppyPlaytime made a Roblox game, and yes, it is bad. PoppyPlaytime Forever, you say? It couldn't even hold 1,000 players in the 3rd month of its release. And the main campaign is so short. This game has been in the works for a while. But it looks like they just threw it together in a few months. It's literally like Rainbow Friends. Doors looks better and is more interesting than this game. And PoppyPlaytime Forever was made by a whole game studio. And that is why the game has completely fallen off. I've only played that game once, and I also forgot it existed until I started writing this video. The next bit of controversy we should address is the merchandising. I already knew about this, as I'm sure many of you did. Like, PoppyPlaytime just does not know when to stop pumping out toy after t-shirt after toy after toy, and they are all so overpriced. Like, I love the smiling critters and all, but I am not paying $44 for Crafty Corn. The pricing is pretty bad for their merchandise. But I mean, so is all other mascot horror entries, so I can't really blame them. Except for Garten of Banban, that has no reason to have expensive merch, and it should burn in hell. Anyways, the merch store, not great. And it was already a bad omen that the game launched with the merch button already made, like that. They really overdid that. Then again, FNAF gave us God knows how many books, but then, apparently, PoppyPlaytime released NFTs. I'm not joking, you probably already knew that, but yes, Mob Games thought the instant fame, merchandising, and YouTube playthroughs were not enough, and they needed NFTs to hype up the second chapter. People were really mad about this because they locked lore behind NFTs, which is kind of stupid, and not long after this, they apparently deleted the announcement of the NFTs, and were unable to take down the site because of the contract they made. Whoopsies. Guess they didn't think that through. And so they decided to make Chapter 1 free on Steam after all the outrage. And all those people who got the game beforehand spent their hard-earned $5 for a lackluster game, and it's now just free. No. Another thing I found out is that they were going to make a movie
Correction, they are making a movie, and it was announced just after the first game blew up. Talk about jumping the shark. They jumped the Huggy Wuggy. Honestly, I'll probably watch it though. Please do make sure you guys like and subscribe. That helps me out a ton. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I have got a lot of personal things going on I don't really want to get into. But yeah, let's not waste any more time and get back to the vid. We've discussed the merchandising, the failed spin-off titles, and now it's time for the serious stuff. So, Mob Games has a bit of shady past with the accusations for plagiarism and bullying. So there's this guy named EKR Coaster, and some members of Enchanted Mob, which is Mob Games' animated YouTube channel, and the CEO of Mob, Zach, basically bullied him. EKR Coaster was a guy who accused Mob of plagiarizing his game Venge, which is basically a game about you exploring an abandoned movie studio that had vanished, and you become trapped inside and you've got to survive and get out before the spirits of that studio kill you. Never heard of it before, nor played it, but it does sound very familiar to PoppyPlaytime. Now, I'm sure they had no intention of copying him, and there are enough differences to make them separate. And they could have left it with a statement online about not copying him. But no, the CEO of Mob and some other members went and bullied him online. Now mind you, EKR Coaster was 15 at the time, and the CEO Zach was 19. So they are bullying a minor. In the beginning it was more or less light jokes and not too bad until, allegedly, some people from Enchanted Mom posted a photo of an inappropriate image of Circus Baby. What the actual... Granted, this was when Mob as a company was still a baby and the CEOs just graduated high school, but that is still no excuse for bullying. About a year after this, and when people found out about it, Zach made a public apology about the bullying, which actually does seem sincere, and people accepted it. Because controversy has long passed over us, but there are some hints that new controversy is on the rise. More and more people from Mob Games are leaving after the release of Chapter 3, including the head director of the story. He has left due to differing opinions, and I think that is a big red flag for chapters so forth. Now, after all of this serious talk, let's talk something a little lighter. A little goofy, per se. Granted, these are still allegations I'm talking about, but they are kind of stupid and long gone, but I thought they were too funny not to include. So, after the Chapter 1 release to the world, someone made a music video about Huggy Wuggy that absolutely blew up. Yeah, that music video is something. But in a statement from the Dorset police, they claimed that due to the character's name, Huggy Wuggy that is, various videos were not being blocked by firewalls and filtered by parental filters on various platforms including TikTok and YouTube Kids. And due to this, kids as young as 5 would play games on the playground where they would, and I quote, hugging each other and whispering frightening lyrics such as hugging you to death until you breathe your last breath. Yep. Children these days, am I right? And then there was another incident that happened, which allegedly, and I quote, it was also reported that a child had attempted to jump out of the window to mimic the character. I'm sorry, what? Was the music video so good that you just had to jump out of a window? Is that what kids do now? Wow, this music video is so good. It just makes me want to go... Parents got really mad about this and blamed Mob Games for this, but I mean, it's not really their fault. It's more the unofficial music video. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that just because I thought it was really funny. So, after all of this, these allegations, the bullying, the overpriced merchandise, the lackluster spin-offs, is PoppyPlaytime doomed? Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't think so. With the reception of Chapter 3, most people have put the past behind them. The past is in and are hoping for a brighter future with this game. Thankfully, they planned where Chapter 4 and so forth were gonna go before the story director left, so we should be okay. I still think the merchandising is a problem, and hopefully, they can start putting care back into the spin-off titles. The company, on the other hand, hopefully can get back on track sometime soon, and I'm definitely gonna be watching them closely. Also, there is a lot more stuff that they have done that people already talked about, and I don't really want to, or else this video will go on forever, so I only mentioned a little chunk of it, so definitely go check out their videos. After all of that, I still think the franchise is moving in the right path with less controversy and better games, even with all their problems, as Elsa once said. So yeah, I still think PoppyPlaytime is a ride. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's been so long, and ciao ciao for now.